Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about improper fractions. As a reminder, an improper fraction is when the numerator, which is our top number, is equal to or greater than the denominator, which is our bottom number. First of all, let's write an example of what an improper fraction is. Here's an example. We've got 10 as our numerator, and we've got 4 as our denominator. You would read this fraction as 10/4. Now, typically, our fractions have a smaller number on top and a bigger number on the bottom, but here we have the opposite of that. We have the big number on top and the small number on the bottom. That's because we are now talking about improper fractions, which are the opposite of proper fractions. The same thing is true though. The numerator is still the shaded in parts and the denominator is still the total, okay? So we're going to have 10 shaded in parts and we're going to have them divided into 4 sections. So let's start out by trying to model what this fraction would look like. First of all, we're going to draw our fraction circle, and then we're going to decide how many pieces to divide that into, okay? I want you to look at this fraction over here and think to yourself, how many sections should I split this into? Should I split it into 10 sections or 4 sections? You might be tempted to say 10 sections, and that would be a good guess, but 4 is actually the correct answer because our denominator is still the same thing, the total amount of pieces that our fraction is divided into. So we're going to be splitting this fraction circle into 4 pieces. As you can see, we are now going to color in 10 of those pieces. If you look at this fraction, you can tell there's not enough to color in 10 sections, okay? So let's go ahead and color in what we can. We can color in 4 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you might want to stop here and say, well, I'm done, but you haven't colored in 10 sections. So far, you've only colored in 4. So we actually are going to draw another fraction circle to help us get to 10 shaded in sections. So we're just going to draw another circle similar to the one we just drew. We're going to split this one also into 4ths because we are still having 4 as our denominator. And we're going to continue to count until we have 10 shaded in sections. So we have 4 so far. Let's shade in a few more. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So now we have 8 colored in sections. We're almost there. We're going to draw one more fraction circle. And this should get us to 10 colored in sections. We're going to want to divide this still into 4ths because 4 is our denominator here. Okay? And we're going to color in 9, 10, okay? So this is what 10/4 looks like. I have 10 sections colored in, and all of these are divided into 4ths, okay? So just because we have a smaller denominator doesn't mean that we divide it into the top number. We still divide it into the bottom number, which is 4. 4 is our denominator, so that's what we're dividing our fractions into, okay? Now, if you color in more than that number, then you have to go to another fraction model, and that's okay. You can continue to draw as many fraction circles as you need until you have the numerator colored in, okay? So we needed 10 sections colored in, so I kept drawing our fraction circles here until I had all of those in. And you might be saying, well, this also looks like 1, 2 wholes and 2 fourths, and you're right. That's another way to write this, which we're going to talk about more in a different video. So let's try one more, and let's go ahead and clear off our board here and try one more improper fraction, okay? So let's try this improper fraction right here. We're going to do, let's try 7 halves, okay? So that means we're going to draw some models, split them into 2 sections because that is our denominator, and we're going to color in 7 of those sections, okay? So first of all, I'm going to start out by drawing one fraction circle. And because 2 is our denominator, that's how many sections I'm going to split it into. Obviously, I know that it's going to be more than 2 sections I need to color in. So I'm going to continue to draw these until I have enough to color 7 sections in, okay? So now I have 4 sections I could color in. Now I have 6 sections I could color in. And now I have 8 sections I could color in, which I only need 7. So I'm going to switch colors, and we're going to go ahead and color these sections in. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sections colored in, okay? So we had 7 sections colored in here because that is our numerator. And then we have 2 as our denominator, so I split my fraction circle into halves. Remember, your improper fraction is going to be bigger than a whole, okay? It's going to be a whole or bigger. So you're probably going to have to draw more than one fraction circle to show the numerator, okay? Because it's going to go over the bottom number, because this is a much bigger number up here than down here, okay? I needed 7 sections colored in, but I still can only split them into halves because half is what our denominator is. So you just continue to draw those fraction models until you get to enough where you have enough to color in the top number, okay? Also, real quick, this is also an improper fraction, and you're probably going to be like, wait, what? In a second once you see the fraction I'm going to draw. Okay, so here we have, let's try 5/5. And you might be saying, oh my goodness, that looks like a normal fraction. And you're kind of right. It does look like one of the fractions that we've seen before. Let's go ahead and draw what 5/5 would look like. Okay, so we're going to start with our fraction circle. We're just going to quickly divide this into fifths. And we're going to color in 5 of those sections, okay? Switch colors and count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I notice I didn't have to draw another fraction circle. That's because 5/5 is exactly 1 whole, okay? And I want you to understand that 1 whole fractions that are 1 whole are also improper, because a proper fraction has to be less than a whole. An improper fraction can actually be a whole or bigger. So this is actually considered an improper fraction once you get to a whole, and then anything that goes into a second fraction model where you have to draw more than one fraction circle to get your answer is also considered an improper fraction. So an improper fraction is a whole or greater than a whole, and a proper fraction is anything less than a whole. If you have any questions, let me know, guys.